Hello and welcome to another edition of Conspirator Brock's Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of June 28th, 2017. Big week this week, like last week, so let's get right into it. First up we have Action Comics number 982. Revenge is the story arc that's going on. I am behind on a lot of my titles, so most of these I will not be saying too much about, but Action Comics has been really good, and so I'm hopeful that it's been continuing with that greatness or goodness. Next up is a book that's probably going to sell out, so hopefully you can snag up a copy, and that is Batman Elmer Fudd, the Looney Tunes special, and this one's by Tom King, and Tom King is on fire right now with what he's working on with Batman, so I'm really curious to see how Batman Elmer Fudd is. And next up we have Scott Snyder's and Steve Orlando's Batman The Shadow number 3. Enjoying it so far, so I'm going to keep going with it. Next up, this book, last issue came out in 2016 in February. So it's been almost a year and a half since this title came out. It's good, but it's really... books really lose momentum when there's that much of a delay, and the book is Greg Rucka and Nicola Scott's Black Magic. This is number 6. It has been almost a year and a half since we had issue 5, so curious to see if we're going to keep getting issues. If that was a hiatus, that was a very long hiatus, but Black Magic is good. I know the first trade is out, so if you're curious about it, you're like, what the heck is this title? Check it out. Next up we have Detective Comics number 959. This is the Intelligence story arc. We seem to have one night only as Zatanna is here. I always like the Batman Zatanna team up stuff, so I'm curious to see how this issue pans out. Next up we have The Flash number 25. This starts the Running Scared story arc. I haven't really read too much after the Button stuff, but from what I hear, it's been really, really good, so I'm looking forward to getting into Flash. Next up we have Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 23. This continues the Fracture story arc. Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps has just been a really solid Lantern book, and I'm normally excited to read it every time I get it. Next up we have Hellblazer number 11. This continues the Smokeless Fire. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this on my pull list. Hellblazer's been just okay, so maybe I'll finish off the story arc and drop it to my read list and see if I continue to want to pick it up. Another Looney Tunes special. This one I'm super, super excited about, and that's Jonah Hex and Yosemite Sam. Demi Palmiotti writes this, so I'm really excited to see Jonah Hex back. Jonah Hex is an amazing character. If you guys have not yet checked it out, I do highly recommend the Jimmy Palmiotti, Justin Gray, Jonah Hex series, as well as the All-Star Western stuff from Rebirth. Just really good Jonah Hex stuff. And next up we have Justice League of America number 9, The Man from Monster Valley. I have no idea what's going on in Justice League right now. I have no idea who that new character is. I'll hopefully find out soon. Next up we have the Commandi Challenge number 6 of 12. Overall, this has been an okay read. It's kind of different every single issue, so that's a little cool. So yeah, we shall see. So far, I don't think I can figure it out before the end. Next up we have Lucifer number 19. Just okay book, just chugging along, reading it. So next up we have Mother Panic number 8. The first story arc was okay. The second one, or the tail end, the first one was a little but this one seems to be interesting, so I'm going to keep going with it. But Mother Panic is one of those books that's on the chopping block to be dropped to the read list. Next up we have Redneck number 3. I know a lot of people were trying to track down issue 1, and this has gone to multiple printings. I really enjoyed issue 1. I need to read issue 2. Yeah, so far I've really enjoyed Redneck. Next up we have Saga number 44. I'm a little bit behind on Saga, but not behind enough to just read it in trade. But Saga's amazing, amazing title, so I can't wait to dive in. Next up, we have Secret Weapons #1 from Valiant. This book, from what I've read of the preview, kind of dives into the psiots that are activated, but their powers suck balls. So I'm curious to see where that goes in relation to the Valiant universe. Valiant is a little weird right now. They don't really have a good core solid couple of books that are ongoing series. Ninjak is the only one that is really going on right now. They rebooted renumbered Exo Manowar. So yeah, I really think Valiant needs to focus their attention on some core titles. Ninjak, Bloodshot, Exo Manowar are really solid books, but Bloodshot's been renumbered every time a story arc seems to finish. So I'm not sure what's going on with Valiant. I'm still enjoying the books, but the constant kind of mini-series type stuff that's going on, I can see why people aren't necessarily interested in diving in. Next up, we have Suicide Squad #20. Don't know what the story arc is on this one because they didn't put it on there, so maybe it's a Harley story. We'll see. Next up, we have Teen Titans #9, Blood of the Manta, Part 1. It looks like Damien is invoking his inner Oliver Queen, in that you failed this city, but you failed this team, and then he's invoking some Trump stuff saying you're fired. I don't know. Teen Titans is one that I still need to finish the Lazarus contract stuff, but I'm not sure if Teen Titans is going to stay on my pull list. Again, I've never really been into the Teen Titans. It's been okay. I liked Johns' run on it, but overall, Teen Titans just hasn't seemed to click with me personally, but overall, it's not a bad title. Next up, we have Wonder Woman #25. Perfect is the story that's going on here. Who's writing this? Rucka is still writing this. Yay! But I don't think Rucka's going to be on it very much longer, which sucks, but he's done a great run so far, so hopefully whoever picks up the reins for Wonder Woman continues the just solid book it's been. Next up is Exo Manowar 3, right here, and 4. Due to a shipping problem, we didn't get 3, and so we finally got it in this week. But 4 came out this week, so I get a double shot of Exo Manowar. These are actually the pre-order edition covers. You can get a regular one. The pre-orders, the only special thing about it is that it has extra pages in it with some sketches and some other stuff in creating the book. So that's it for what I pulled. I did grab some variants this week. The first up was the Action Comics 982 variant. I like the cover on that sucker. Of course, I was a sucker for the detective one, but it's got Zatanna on it, so hey. Picked up the Flash 25 variant. We'll see. Curious to see how Reverse Flash is playing into the Flash book right now. I normally don't pick up the Hal Jordan Green Lantern Corps, but it was a Carrillo and Guy Gardner on the cover, so I was like, why not? Hellblazer, I was a sucker for lighting of a cigarette, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Will Porcheo's been doing the Suicide Squad ones. They haven't been great, but that's not half bad. It's just okay. Teen Titans #9 had a pretty fun looking busy variant there. And of course the Wonder Woman 25 variant. Awesome stuff on that cover. I did pick up a couple of then the other thing I got this week that came out was the final volume of the Dark Knight 3 Master Race hardcovers for the single issues. It comes in this really nice holder for all of your titles, and it obviously shows, the wraparound shows what the whole picture is there. The really amazing thing about this, and kudos to DC, is that normally the single issue hardcovers have been $12.99. This box for you to collect them in nice and simple and all of that stuff is only $12.99. So if you've been getting them, you get, for $12.99, you get the last one and this nice box to put them in. So that's going to be going up right here behind me. And one of the first deluxe hardcovers finally came out from DC, and that's the Action Comics Deluxe Hardcover Book 1. This collects 957 and 9 through 966 of Action Comics, and also the Justice League 52 issue. So yeah, so really excited to have this oversized deluxe edition for these Rebirth titles. Yeah, can't wait to get more of them, especially the Batman one and the Suicide Squad. Marvel previews itself came out. Marvel actually had themselves on the cover for Legacy, which, yeah. But this is previews number 346. This is for stuff that's going to be shipping in September for comic book stores. So it's a great way to pre-order things. There's two previews. There's the regular previews, and then there's the Marvel previews. So you can either get, if you buy the previews, you should get the Marvel previews for free, or if you're just a Marvel person and you just want to look for Marvel stuff, then you can buy just the Marvel previews by itself. So yeah, that's it for what I took home. Now it's time for the read list. So first up on the read list is Beautiful Canvas, #1 from Black Mask. Figured I'd give that book a shot. Cable #2 is out this week. I enjoyed the first issue, so we'll see how issue 2 gets me. Defenders also has an issue 2 out this week. The first issue was, again, interesting, so I'm curious to see where it goes. Then we have Infamous Iron Man #9. Bendis has been doing a good job on this, and Riri is now in the book fighting Dr. Doom. Big title from Marvel is Secret Empire #5. I won't spoil it for you, but yes, who you think it is who you think it is on that cover, reaching out for Hawkeye, even though that doesn't really take place in the book. Next up we have the Star Wars Dr. Aphra #8, and I believe this continues the Screaming Citadel story arc, but they didn't actually put the little logo on it, which is weird. New book from Star Wars, and that Star Wars Droids Unplugged. I figured I'd give it a shot. Because Weapons of Mutant Destruction is going on, part 2 is out, and that is in issue 20 of the Totally Awesome Hulk. I enjoyed the Prelude in Weapon X, and then the Alpha, chapter 1, so I'm gonna check out Weapons of Mutant Destruction. Next up we have X-Men Blue #6. I'm not a big fan of X-Men Blue, so I don't know if I'm going to keep reading it, but we'll see. It hasn't completely lost my interest, but yeah. There was a few titles left over from last week that we didn't have enough copies, but we didn't sell through them, so I'm checking them out, and that is, first one is Black Monday Murders #6 by Hickman. It's weird, and it's Hickman, and I enjoy it. Next up is issue 2 of Iceman. I don't even know why I picked it up. Our shop is sub only as of issue 3. And Luke Cage #2 came out. I enjoyed the first issue, so I was going to give issue 2 a try. So yeah, that's it for the pull list this week for me. Giant week this week. A lot of titles are out. I do recommend you get down to your local comic shop or call your shop to see if they can hold you a copy of that Batman Elmer Fudd. It's probably going to sell out. So yeah. I know I went on a little rant last week about Marvel Legacy pricing. This past Friday, Marvel released animated GIFs of their Legacy titles, the 52 of them that they're releasing. It's very difficult to be excited about this event because it just it does not feel like they're redoing anything. It feels like they're kind of just, hey, check this out, we're going back to this, and it just seems like they're the same old gimmicks, which is not what we've been getting from Marvel, at least on the retailer side, for the past few months. So this is very odd. I know that Generations people aren't really into it very much. We're not really going to order much over what we already get currently for subscriptions for these books, because it doesn't really seem like there's any interest in them, which is really sad, because it just really kind of it's disheartening for people who want to read Marvel books but feel that the Marvel titles aren't Marvel anymore. They're just this constant. I mean, just tons and tons of books that are not that they're trying to make stick and just are not. So you can check out those animated gifs online. There's plenty of comic book related websites that feature them. I, of course, was not too impressed with a couple of the issues, especially since the original cover that they were homaging, because it goes an old cover and then it morphs into the homage cover for the new thing. A lot of the older covers were a lot better and more interesting than the new ones. A customer of ours at the shop actually showed somebody he knows who isn't really into comics but is an art person, these animated gifs, and asked them which one they would prefer, and for all of them the person said they would prefer the old art story versus the newer art story. So it's really difficult to get behind this legacy stuff, just because, again, the price point for Legacy 1 is $6, and it's supposed to get you in, and all these legacy titles, they're not really anything new. They're just rehashing what they already have, and a lot of what Marvel has is not performing, is not doing so well. When you have titles like Jean Grey #1 doing very well in the sales charts in May, but issue 2, which came out in the second month, drops just far down the list of top sellers. And so stores are aware of, it's a grab for the variants and all that stuff with issue 1, but nobody's going to come back to buy issue 2, so they're cutting their orders drastically. Marvel has also been trying to pump books that nobody cares about. An example is all new Guardians of the Galaxy. Marvel has shipped the same, matched every single order to #1, and nobody wants these books. They're just going to sit on the shelves and do nothing. Like, they're cutting into their profit margin to give stores these books that nobody wants. So why don't they just try and give books that people want? It's weird. So yeah, you'll probably leave comments in the section below saying how I'm a Marvel hater, but their practices have been pushing people away for years, and I know people who have blatantly said that they want to buy Marvel single issues, but cannot justify giving Marvel money in its current condition, in what they're currently putting out. And yeah, that's sad. So, oh well. Thanks for watching. Sorry again for the rant. If you like the rants, then I'll try and keep them in. But please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down in the window below, or in the comment section below, I should say. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @BrockSager. You can also listen to me on the Comics Conspiracy podcast. We just finished recording episode 314 tonight, and should be up soon. You can go to www.geekbox.net to check that out, or you can download us on iTunes. But we talk about the more in-depth into Marvel Legacy stuff, and we talk May sales charts. I know, stimulating stuff. But yeah, so you can check us out there. If you want, you can help me and my fellow conspirators out through Patreon at www.patreon.com/comicsconspiracy. For as little as $1 a month, you help us with hosting and getting comics and food and all that stuff in for the What We podcast. So to all our Patreon backers, thank you for your support. I know that we've got backed enough to do random picks this past month. So if you want to keep that going, then you should definitely keep the Patreon up so that we hit that mark and that we keep giving you those random picks. So yeah, I'm get tired. It's been a long, long day. So, as usual, I'll see you next week.